Re:Zero is not only the best isekai anime of all time, but among my favorite stories ever. However, despite how much I love this show, it has a very specific style that may not be for you. The very same reasons I love it could be the reason you hate it. So let's get into all these things spoiler-free right now. Re:Zero is a fantasy epic, focusing on a worthless teenager who gets transported into another world. Although it's a classic series that started over 10 years ago, the isekai genre had been well cemented into anime culture when it was released, and in a way, it follows many of its tropes. That is, until it twists it on its head, usually in a very violent and brutal way. The main concept of the story is that Subaru, the main character, goes back in time to a save point of sorts whenever he dies. Since Subaru is an extremely weak person in a brutal world of evil cults and powerful opponents enhanced by magic, his death is inevitable and frequent. Through this, the majority of the conflict of the story, especially in Season 1, involves Subaru trying to prevent himself and his new friends around him from dying by getting the right people in the right places at the right time, while also not drawing suspicion to himself for knowing too much. There is also a legitimate reason he cannot tell people about his return by death ability. These loops could make the story feel weightless, since he can always die and restart. It can feel that way, but the constant threat that anyone can die at any time makes it extremely tense during dangerous situations. And there are other ramifications beyond permanent death that gives real stakes to every situation. Especially in the beginning, it can feel slow and frustrating as Subaru slowly crawls his way through figuring out what's going on, but overall the plot progresses at a good pace, considering how massive of a story this is across 4 seasons. You may know Subaru as a massive crybaby protagonist, which is true, and each season finds increasingly interesting ways to torture him, but his development through it is incredible. He learns and grows while still screwing up and falling back into old habits, like an actual person would. The internal issues he deals with are so well thought out, and the relationships he builds with those around him are so good. The animation, voice acting, and music is consistently great, and I could praise the world building of the show for hours. The plot, meanwhile, only gets better in each season. It's so unique and well thought out. Each problem has an interesting solution that makes sense and plays into the themes of self-worth, love, and dealing with trauma. And there is a lot of trauma. There's also a lot of drastic tonal shifts. One minute it's like, after I peel these potatoes, I get to go on a date tomorrow. And the next is whatever's happening here. Whenever things are going good, you are quickly reminded what kind of show this is. If fan service really bothers you in isekais, Re:Zero is actually very tame on that front, and it never has any moment that ruins the tone. On the other hand, this show is extremely viscerally violent. There's torture, brutality, and many unique kinds of bloody murders happening through magic. All of this is horrific, often uncomfortably long, and accompanied by a lot of visceral screams. Sometimes it might feel as if it's too much and just there for shock value, but the story does use it for more than just disturbing entertainment. Overall, Re:Zero is a fantastic anime that is absolutely worth watching unless the violence is too much for you. While initially it is extremely gripping and shocking, it builds off of its phenomenal writing to become a deeper, heartfelt story of love, growth, determination, and friendship. For my personal love and appreciation of Re:Zero, it gets the lauded S tier show, and it's a 10. If you like this video, check out this review of Witch Hat Atelier here on the end screen. Pretty much the most opposite kind of anime you could find. Further worth watching videos are in the works, so subscribe for more anime recommendations. That's all from me, Jamyo.